Hello, if we're even live. So if you're watching this right now, you're not in the live stream, but that's okay. This is just a random, well, as the title suggests, it's just a random, spontaneous live stream, basically. Just to say I'm back. Hello, Jake. Yeah, so I've been away for, I think my last video was mid-April. Um, And since then, I've just been doing hardcore university work because, for those of you who aren't aware, I'm in, or should I say, I was in my final year of uni. And I'm talking in the past tense because I have now finished. I've done all the exams, finished my project, final year project, and that was bloody difficult, but I'll get into that in a second. Um, Yeah, and I got my results back on Monday, and somehow I got a first, which is the best you can get. So I'm just over the moon, basically. And so what this means is I've now got a really long summer holiday, and I can finally get back to making lots of Doctor Who content for you guys, which will be great. It's been a long time since I've done proper video editing. Yeah, so I'm just excited to be getting back into it basically. Um, and yeah, so at the moment I'm still in my uni house, as you can see around me. And this will be the last video I do here actually, because I'll be moving out in a few days. Um, yeah, and then afterwards I'm hoping that I can make a video every week. Though, don't hold me to that, because I don't know. I mean, I will be relaxing for a lot of the time, but I've got to meet up with home friends. I've got to look for jobs at some point, unfortunately, because money makes the world go round. Um, yeah, but I'm holding off on that for as long as possible. But let's have a look at your lovely comments before we talk about absolutely anything. And I don't know, Doctor Who Series 11 news, episodes I've been watching recently we can discuss, or episodes you guys have been watching. We'll just have a nice time for under an hour, I will say. Let's see if I can actually stick to that for a change. Ben Atkinson, yes, he is back. I am indeed. Hello. Congrats on uni from Nathan. Thank you so much. I was just so shocked with getting a first because I really thought I'd messed up on the project, to be honest. I think everyone has a wobble, whether or not they have it in third year or second year or first year or fourth year if they're doing a master's. Um, yeah, I think everyone at some point has like a moment where they're like, I can't do this anymore. And I've been like that every year, to be honest. But I won't lie, this year has been really difficult. The work was just a lot harder. I do maths, by the way, for those of you that don't know. And yeah, so my project, I had to write out all these complicated formulas that even I had no idea what they were. Um, and yeah, I just thought my project was a pile of poop, basically. I just thought it was absolutely rubbish. Um, Ben Atkinson, I finished my course last week and got pass plus plus for it all. Well done, that's fantastic. Um, Nathaniel, hello Dr. Blue, can you give me some advice as I just need some tips on making good review videos on Doctor Who as I'm new to YouTube? Oh, lovely, I love giving advice, even though I'm not an expert on things. So, firstly, hello. Um, so you wanted advice on good review videos. Okay, well, I'm definitely not an expert on this because you only have to look back through my channel to see I do hardly any reviews. Although I do want to get into them at some point. Um, be yourself. It might be worth planning them beforehand. Work out the points that you want to discuss. So it's not just, well, what I'm doing at the moment. You're not just being like, thinking about what to say next. You've actually got a plan and a script to follow. That might be good. Um, it might be worth showing off the thing that you're reviewing. So if it's a DVD, like this one, you show the cover. You show the back. You show what's inside. Yeah, might be worth doing that. Make it original maybe, because there's reviews for everything and there's loads of reviews for like Doctor Who DVDs and books, and if you want to be seen by a variety of people, it's probably worth putting your own spin on things. That's all I can say really. Okay, so that's it for the comments for now. I'll have a look at them later. Hello Katie, nice to see you. Yeah, so what to talk about for a bit. In case it wasn't already clear, I'm making this video, well, partly to update you on everything because I am free now, but also all of my housemates are out at the moment, and this is a recurring theme with the spontaneous live streams. I always do it when I'm home alone, really bored, fed up of going on Netflix, fed up of playing on my PS3, and it's just something nice to do. It's nice to talk to you guys, I think. But I never do it when people are in the house because I feel very self-conscious. And also there's issues of, people could walk in at any moment and they might not want to be on camera. I should probably sit closer to the camera so I'm not just a really tiny body. Yeah, but anyway. Nathan Aniel says, thank you, Dr. Blue, that was a real help. You're welcome. If you do get round to making the reviews, drop a link and I will be sure to watch them because I'm interested in any sort of Doctor Who video. Yeah, so Doctor Who Series 11, we've had no news on that basically over the past few months. They've just been so good at keeping all the filming secret that there's just nothing for YouTubers like myself to talk about. So it's a bit awkward, but I mean, I'd rather things not be spoilt, to be honest. Yeah, so I don't know, remind me if there's any news that's been announced. I mean, recently it was announced that Doctor Who's, the cast of Series 11 is going to San Diego Comic-Con, so we might get the first trailer then, which will be really cool. I do love a good trailer. Yeah, and so you've got Jodie Whittaker being there, I think Bradley Walsh is going, and the other companions. So we'll get our first tidbits of information regarding the new series. But other than that, I don't really think there's been much news on that front. Like I said, please let me know if there is stuff. Yeah, so don't know what to talk about now. Well, I want to say general updates on the channel and also Doctor Who stuff, but I don't know which one to do first. I'll do my channel. Yeah, so like I said at the start of this video, I'm hopefully going to do a video a week now, per week. We'll see how long I stick to that for. But, it's a good goal, I think, to have a video a week. I think that's not too much, not too little, and it should work. I should hopefully make good content as well. As per normal, I will make a variety of stuff. I'll try different videos. I might make videos that are similar to the ones I've done before. Hopefully I've got a sketch lined up. I had a random idea for a sketch a few months ago, and yeah, since finishing uni, it's been creeping back into the forefront of my mind, and I think if I can get the comedy right, it should be quite enjoyable, but we'll see. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up too much because I'm not used to writing scripts, let alone comedy, so we really don't know how that's going to go. Doctor Who theories, I don't know what's happening with that, to be honest. I might make a few more of them, but it's just, the thing is, they're really hard to make, and truth be told, I often treat them as chores. They stopped being fun for me ages ago now, I think I only really enjoyed doing the first 3 of them, and then I think I've made 8 in total, and one of them wasn't even me, it was Alex from the Doctor Who guide. So really, I've done 7. Um, and yeah, it just, I don't know, I think I wanted it to be, I wanted every video to be the best I could make it, and so I would push myself too hard. I would go through everything I'd typed up on Word and try to make it the best English possible rather than what I would want to say naturally, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, it just felt like an essay. And even filming it, I would often film it on a hot summer's day in my blue suit, and I would get hot and bothered. But we'll see. But yeah, so I am having doubts about Doctor Who theories, to be honest. And one of the things that caused these doubts was the fact that I've now moved out of the house where I filmed it. If you remember the blue wall I had behind me, along with the Doctor Who posters, that's a house that I no longer have access to. So the setting would have to change, and I'd feel like, it would look different, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think we've all got used to Doctor Who theories. Well, if you watch it, that is. Um, we've all got used to it looking a certain way. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Um, oh, thank you guys for comments. Please do keep them coming. We can make this a Q&A if you want, or like I said, we can discuss Doctor Who Series 11. We can speculate. Yeah, or you can ask me what episodes I've been watching recently if you're interested in that. I don't know why you would be, but oh well. But yeah, no, I will. I'm probably not gonna go for a full hour, but we'll see. I always say that, but it always goes on for too long. Random Anime Fan 1412. If you were to create your own Doctor Who episode, what would you make it about? That is a really good question, and one that's very hard to answer straight away without thinking about it. My immediate reaction is I'd love to do a story that involves time travel in some aspect. Father's Day is an episode I watched, well, on Father's Day again, and it's such a good episode. I think potentially it's in my top 10 all-time favourite episodes, to be honest. And one of the things I really like about it is the fact that you end up with 2 versions of the Doctor and Rose. I think I really like stories where you go back in time and then you go back in time even further back and you cause things in the future, if that makes sense. So another story where you have a good example of this is the Under the Lake and Before the Flood 2-parter. I really like how part 1 is set after part 2. That's, well, and the title suggests that. And yeah, and taking things even further, within episode 4, Before the Flood, you then have the 2 versions of the Doctor and the various characters in that story, because they go back even further. And now the coughing started again. Great. Oh, every time. But yeah, in terms of what I would make it about, it's such... So time travel, I would like... in terms of a historical story, I once thought of an episode involving Mozart. I thought he would be an interesting historical figure to go back and see. Oh, sorry about this, guys. Yeah, but no, you've stumped me with that question. It's a very good one, though. Nathan Marlowe, did you do a project on Doctor Who once? I think I remember seeing the folder in a video once. A video on that would be interesting. I did indeed. Yes, that was an A-level project I did for a subject called EPQ, which stands for Extended Project Qualification. So the idea is it prepares you for university, and it's essentially a dissertation throughout the whole year you do it. You can either do it in year 12 or year 13. You would research, you would create a question for yourself. Oh, I'm dying. You would create a question and you would research for whatever your subject was. So for me, it was obviously Doctor Who because I love it so much. And then by the end of the year, you would write a 5,000 word essay on that. Thank you for saying that you're interested in seeing a video on that, by the way. I did, when I first made the video, where I think it was in the 10 Doctor Who related facts about me video, and that was one of the first I did actually, back in 2016. I did wonder if people would be interested in me actually properly showing off the folder. So I'll bear that in mind. That might be a good video to make. Show off my handiwork. Ben Atkinson, I can write scripts if you need help. I'll be glad to. Thank you so much. I might hold you to that. Katie Tatton, have you played any of the Dragon Age games? I have not. I haven't even heard of them, to be honest. Do let me know what they're about. I take it there's dragons involved. Slimmy007, I did an EPQ, it didn't get me anywhere. Mine was 3D in cinema. Okay. It's a shame it didn't get you anywhere. Although I don't really know what you mean by that. Do you mean into university? I mean, it didn't do that much for me either. It was just a fun... No, it was fun actually. I shouldn't do that. It was a fun extra thing for me. It gave me more points, so I suppose that helped me get into university. But it was more about the academic subjects that I studied. But 3D in cinema is a very interesting topic. Mine was before college, but I didn't need it. Right, fair enough. Fair dues. Cool, nice. Right, so that's the end of the comments. So while people are commenting away, if you want to, I will talk about some Doctor Who purchases I made recently. So I properly finished university, I think 2 weeks ago now, and I randomly decided, you know what, I want to go into town and treat myself. And so I went in a variety of shops. I went into Kex, the second-hand game store, went into HMV, WH Smith, blah blah blah, and ultimately I came away with 4 classic Doctor Who DVDs. So I'll show them off. One of them you've already seen, The Mind Robber. I'll explain what stories I've seen in a second. The Keys of Marinus. The Deadly Assassin, with its price still on it. And Inferno. So these are stories I've wanted for a while, and I thought, you know what, I deserve a treat after all the hard work I've done. So I went in. I say I didn't care about the price. I did. Yeah, because I'm stingy. I don't know why. I just, for some reason, I'm incapable of like splashing out the cash. I always have to be very strict on what I spend. But anyway, we don't want to know about that. So I'll go in the order, the broadcast order of these stories. The Keys of Marinus, even though the price is still on it and it's still in its shrink wrap, that is a story I've seen before, and I really liked it. Would thoroughly recommend it for anyone that's looking to get into classic Doctor Who. For those of you that don't know, its plot is basically a quest episode. It's in 6 parts, or 7. I don't know. one or the other. And the thing that makes it really stand out for me is every episode is different from the last one. So like episode 1, the TARDIS lands on an island, and a lot of the episode is just spent with the Doctor and their companions exploring and getting trapped behind like Indiana Jones type doors, which I quite liked. And then episode 2, they then travel to an area, they get teleport bracelets, I think. It's been a while since I've watched the episode. And they end up in a place, I really liked episode 2. They end up in a place sorry, where they see. Well, I don't know how to explain it. It's a place that's basically a dump and not attractive at all, but they see it as being attractive, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Um, I need to do a proper review of this story maybe to make up for how rubbish I'm explaining it at the moment. But anyway, yeah, so every episode is different. You've then got an episode in a screaming jungle. You've got a episode on like a snowy place. You've got a really good episode that's a court case basically, where Ian is on trial for killing someone even though he's completely innocent, and the doctor has to represent him, which I really liked. And then the last episode goes back to the island of the first episode, and everything that's been collected on the quest is all brought together. Yeah, so I really like it. It's a quest. Yeah, you get a lot of. It's a long story. Like I said, it's 6 or 7 episodes, and it's just really good. So then we've got the second Doctor story, The Mind Robber. Absolutely loved this. Part 1, the most mind-boggling beginning to a story I've ever seen. I love it to bits. I love episodes set in the TARDIS. I don't love Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS, but that's for a whole other video. Well, unless you want to know about it now. But yeah, no, so I won't spoil much about the episode, but just the things that happen. Basically, the Doctor and his companions arrive in a world of fiction, so they meet a bunch of fictional characters. Jamie. I love what happens to Jamie. Basically, behind the scenes, the guy that played Jamie, Fraser Hines, I think that's his name. I hope I'm right. He got chickenpox just before episode 2 was filmed. So, what the cast and crew did with the Mind Robber is they had a character shoot his face off. That sounds gory. It's really not gory. It just becomes like this blurry, static thing. And the Doctor has to rearrange his face, and he does it wrong. So for the rest of episode 2, it's a different guy playing Jamie, but the character is still Jamie, and the Doctor and oh god, I've forgotten the female companion's name. Victoria? I hope it's Victoria. They still treat the guy as Jamie because in terms of the story it is, but it's just a completely different actor playing him, which I thought was hilarious. But yeah, anyway, so I really like that story. I mean, nothing makes sense in it, but I just really enjoyed it. And then more recently, I watched Inferno. Again, I'm going to repeat myself, but I love this. Basically, it's a parallel universe story. So everything's taking place around a drilling project to go into the Earth's crust. And basically, at the same time, the Doctor is trying to get the TARDIS to work again. But in doing so, he ends up in a parallel universe that's operating quicker to our universe. So the mining project has gone further in the parallel universe. And again, I won't spoil the details because it is a very good story that you should all watch if you haven't already. But yeah, so I just really like how you get to see different versions of the Brigadier, different versions of, well, I say different, you only see one different version for each character. There's a different incarnation of Liz Shaw, the companion, and it's basically just like it's a dictatorship world essentially. The Brigadier is now a brigade leader, wearing an eye patch, and he's a more sinister character. And there's also these like weird werewolf creatures, which was quite interesting to see. And you've got the body horror aspect in that when they touch you, you become one of them. And there's quite a horrifying scene with Sergeant Benton, if any of you are familiar with him. And you see him turn into one of these creatures, and I can imagine it must have been really scary for kids back in the was it 70s? 1970, yeah. Must have been really scary for them. You can sort of see this guy isn't really a werewolf at this point, but that's the beginning of the transformation. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. And so The Deadly Assassin, I haven't seen this yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. All that I know is I think it's the only story that Tom Baker did without a companion, so that should be interesting. I think it's also the first time you see Gallifrey, so I'm looking forward to that. And it's apparently got one of the most controversial cliffhangers ever in it, and I think that's with the Doctor drowning, for any of you that may be familiar with that. But yeah, so I like to think that all 4 DVDs I bought there are good ones. Let me know if you agree. Let me know. I noticed on Twitter actually, a lot of people said Inferno is one of their favourite stories. It's like highly regarded. A lot of people love it, and I can see why. To be honest, I wouldn't say it's in my top 10 yet, but I've only seen it once, and I am biased because obviously I've grown up with the Revival series. But anyway, let's. I've noticed quite a few people are commenting, so I'll have a quick look at these. Wow, we've been going for 26 minutes already. Katie is talking about Dragon Age. Dragon Age is set in the world of Thedas, and the 3 games are set around completely different battles, cities, and wars, so it's hard to encompass them in a few words. Okay, well, it sounds interesting at least, so I might look into it. Thank you for letting me know about it. Jake likes the Mind Robber. I'm glad you agree. Katie, but if you are a fan of fantasy stuff, then I would highly recommend them. If you import your choices from the first game into the second and those into the third, it affects the story in major ways. Now, I love games where consequences come from your choices, if I've explained that well. Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Life is Strange, and some of you may have seen my Doctor Who reference in Life is Strange video. Yeah, I just love games where your choices actually matter and you can influence the story. So yeah, I'm very intrigued about Dragon Age now. Oh, Random Anime Fan looks like he's got another really good question. What about the scariest alien combo? For example, I think the Silence and Weeping Angels. You know what? I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think that's terrifying. Yeah, having the Weeping Angel's ability to move really quickly and to freeze as soon as you look at them, along with the Silence's terrifying appearance and ability to make people forget them as soon as they look away, everyone would die, wouldn't they? Yeah, so you would constantly. I've never noticed that link between the 2 villains. You have to stay looking at them, otherwise they can use their advantage against you. I mean, it seems obvious now, but I never properly thought about it. Yeah, but no. Is there any other combos I'd like to see? Daleks could work with anything. I think, their evil nature and need to exterminate everything. You do ask some very good questions. You do put me on the spot. But no, I like to think your answer was the best combo. Slimmy007, thoughts on a revolving cast of companions in new series with 1 or 2 mainstays? Oh, okay, I was just about to ask what you meant by that, but I think you're explaining in the next comment. Like they pick up a companion from the past for a couple of adventures and one from the future, a bit like Adam in Series 1. To be honest, I hope all the companions that have been confirmed, so Bradley Walsh, Tosin Cole, Mandip Gill, I think. Hopefully I've got all their names right. I hope they stay for the whole series. Even though I like companions coming and going, I think for this fresh take of Doctor Who, Series 11, new Doctor, new showrunner, I think it's nice to have a family. I think in order for the show to become a family show again, you need a family unit in the TARDIS. and I think that's partly why Chris Chibnall has given the Doctor 3 companions rather than 1. I don't know, I'm just guessing. But in the future, in series 12 or 13, hopefully Doctor Who will still be going then, I would be up for companions coming and going, but the problem is you're less likely to connect with them. I mean, it worked with Captain Jack, I suppose, and Mickey, but I don't know, I suppose the story kept returning to them. Whereas with people like Adam, I know he was a rubbish companion and the Doctor deliberately made sure he never went to see him again, but you know, it's not in the Doctor's nature to go back and visit companions that have left him. He's always moving forward. So as soon as a companion leaves, really, that's the last time you'll see them. So it's just that I just find it a bit weird to only have them in a couple of stories. That's my opinion, anyway. Surfboarder 4. Hey, it's been a while. Gotta go to bed. 3 exams tomorrow. Oh, God. Have a good night, everyone. What's your opinion on Percy the Cat? I'll check back on archive tomorrow. See ya. Well, firstly, hello, Surfboarder 4. Nice to see you. Best of luck with your 3 exams. I'm just flabbergasted you have 3 in one day. Like, there's me moaning about having 2 on the same day. But I forget that GCSEs and I think A levels you can potentially get 3 in one day. But that's rough. So I hope you do well in them. Best of luck. And I hope you enjoy watching this when you come back to it. Oh, how do I say this name? X5 Scra. Hey, Dr. Blue, I have a question I need to ask you. Go for it. You don't need to ask my permission. Just don't make it too personal. Daniel B, it's really hard getting Doctor Who stuff, especially Blu-rays or DVDs in Germany. Is it? That's a shame. I wish I could suggest something to make it better. Is there no way you can watch episodes online? I mean, in the UK, we're quite fortunate at the moment. All the revival series episodes are on a thing called BBC iPlayer. So if I want to, I can just watch every single one of them. And this next thing, I think, is worldwide. So you can do this with the classic episodes. But practically every single classic Doctor Who story is on a streaming platform called Twitch. So I've been dipping in and out of that every now and then, but I struggle to know when the episodes are starting, so I find that when I log on, I'm already halfway through a story, so I just think there's no point. I might as well watch it when I'm ready, as opposed to when Twitch is making me watch it. But it's still really good that, you know, all these new fans are being introduced to Classic Who, and fans that have, like me, seen a couple of classic episodes can now see more of them. I think that's really nice. Slimmy007. Telltale Doctor Who game. It would be like an audio drama. You can bring back old doctors, especially one like Capaldi in his first series, where his morals seem to change. Is this something you want to see? Because if it is, I completely agree. I think you're linking this to the choice and consequence part of the conversation we were saying before. Yeah, I would absolutely love that, and I would buy it in a heartbeat. I think Telltale make very good games. Sorry, I'm just checking the time. Yeah, they make very good games, and I'm sure they'll do a really good Doctor Who one. Yeah, God knows what it will be about, but there's so much story potential that they could do anything. I mean, it doesn't have to be an audio drama, to be fair. They can have the visuals there. Animated versions of the Doctor, which would be quite cool. You can bring back old Doctors, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hello, Matthew Jess. Right, that's the end of the comments again. As I keep saying, please do fire away with questions, or you can just generally talk about Series 11, the stories I showed off earlier, or anything. And when I run out of things to say and when there's no more comments, I'll wrap this up. But thank you for everyone who's contributed so far. I'm like I've said this many a time, but what I love about these live videos is just being able to talk to people. And that's something I want to do in my summer, actually. I want to meet more Doctor Who fans because I feel like I've sort of... There's a fly. Um, I feel like I've lost that connection in a way, to be honest. I mean, I still have it with these videos, but personally, as in like in person, a lot of my friends aren't really into Doctor Who anymore. So I want to meet new people, and I want to meet some of you guys as well if you ever go to conventions and all that jazz. Uh, Daniel B. Yeah, there's Netflix, but I like to watch these movies like the ones you've just talked about, the older ones. But I've watched all the new Who, love that, so I'd like to get all the old Who. Yeah, so I watched all of New Who, and then I just got so fed up with these massive gaps we've got between series that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back and watch the hundreds of classic Doctor Who episodes that are out there. Um, but then I got sidetracked with university and other programs that I need to watch. But I'm slowly getting there, and my DVD collection is steadily growing. Uh, yeah, I've got to add those 4 DVDs I showed off to my shelf at home now, and there's no room, so God knows how I'm going to do that. Um, have I? Yeah, I suppose I've sort of said updates on my channel. So I've said about Doctor Who theories, I've said variety of videos. Yeah, that's all I want to say about that really. So we'll just talk about Doctor Who for the rest of this video because I can't be bothered to talk about myself. Well, unless it's my opinion of Doctor Who. Jake Wakeling, I recently finished buying all the Doctor Who DVDs. Congratulations! That must have cost you an absolute fortune. Wow, yeah. It always amazes me when people manage to buy every single DVD because you see all these videos of people showing off their collection and it's just shelf after shelf after shelf, and I'm just sat there thinking it's like it's minimum £7 per, no, £6 I think for a classic Who DVD, and then, well, depending on how recent the revival series of Doctor Who is, you could buy it for like £10, 15. Series 10, actually Series 10 is quite cheap now. I think that's gone down to about £20 in UK price. But yeah, no, what I'm saying is it costs a lot to buy all the DVDs. Uh, yeah, so it takes commitment to do that, so well done. Daniel B will look into Twitch, and they thought it was just for video games. Yeah, I thought the same, to be honest. I had no idea you could stream TV on there until the BBC used it for that. Sort out my hair. It's probably a mess. Random Anime Fan 1412. Have you read any of the Doctor Who Myths and Legends book? I'm reading it at the moment and I'm interested in others' thoughts. I have not, I'm afraid, so I'll open that up to anyone in the comments. Has anyone else read the Doctor Who Myths and Legends book? I do want to read more Doctor Who books, but it's just, well, I say the problem is finding the time for it. Obviously, I'm completely free at the moment, but I do want to watch classic Doctor Who, as much of it as possible. I want to try and keep to my 1 video per week idea. I want to see my friends, and I want to do a variety of things. So I need to somehow find the time for reading as well. But we'll see. We'll see. I've got my whole life ahead of me now. Hopefully, now that I'm done with education. Slimmy, did you ever get the Doctor Who trading cards when you were a kid? I had so many, I'd sell my spares to kids at school, but I don't think that would happen with kids today. The Tennant era was so popular. I don't think I ever had the Doctor Who trading cards. I think I got Top Trumps cards at some point, but I think that was when people stopped bringing them into school, so like secondary school maybe. I think it was more a primary school thing that people would trade the cards. Please tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah, but no, I never did, I'm afraid. I would have loved to, but I got into the series in year 6, I think. And even then, I was at that point, I think I was only interested in the TV aspect. It took me a while to get the annuals and the books and the toys, etc. I say a while, it was like a few months, but I think by then it was already the summer holidays, and then I went to secondary school. Um, but no, you make a good point about the Tennant era being very popular. I do think that's when Doctor Who was like peak popularity, at least in the UK. It was just everywhere, and millions of people would watch the Christmas specials and the finales. And like Matt Smith had a bit of that as well. Like that's when it properly broke America, I think, and there was more visits to the States. And then, yeah, for some reason with the Capaldi era, and even at the end of Matt Smith's era, just viewership has started going down. And still millions of people watch it, don't get me wrong. But I've noticed in the UK, not many, it's not event television at the moment. And that's what I'm really hoping from Series 11 for it to become event TV again. So hopefully it will. Katie Tatton, what is the oldest Doctor Who action figure you have? My oldest one is an original David Tennant figure from 2005. Still got the sonic screwdriver. Wow. So 13 years you've had that. That's incredible. None of my action figures have lasted that long. I think I've said in a previous video that I haven't really collected that many action figures. It's only been in the past year that I've been doing it, now that I'm 21. It's very weird. Right, let's see. So I got a David Tennant for my 18th birthday. So that's only 3 years, which is a bit pathetic. Action figures. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I genuinely think that was the first action figure I got. Maybe I've just drawn a blank in my mind, but I can't remember any figure I got before my 18th birthday. Wow. That's disappointing. 3 years, that's it. I mean, in my defence, for some reason I was never really interested in the action figures. But still, 3 years. I feel like I'm a fake fan now. Yeah. Oh, that's sad. Jake Wakeling, who is your favourite Doctor from Classic and New Who? Good question. So, as I've said many a time now, in the Revival series, it has to be the 10th Doctor. I love David Tennant as an actor, and he was the first Doctor I saw. So, obviously, he's had a big impact on me. I just loved how charismatic he was, how joyous he was, and how he could suddenly be very... I want to say angsty, but I also don't want to say angsty, but I've just said angsty. No, I like how dark he could be, that's what I was meant to say. Like the Waters of Mars just blew me away, just how almost evil a character the Doctor became. But yeah, so I really like that. Classic Doctor Who, oh, that's a tough one because I've only seen a couple of stories from each Doctor, and even then, I don't think I've seen any of the 6th Doctor yet. Yeah, I haven't. I've yet to start his stories. I have a soft spot for the first Doctor, I think. I just love how he's the original, I love how grumpy he is, but I love how he's also got a sweeter, childlike side to him. And he's just basically a grandfatherly figure. Yeah, and I just think William Hartnell does a very good performance. So that's what I'll say. K-Tire, do you think any of the old favourite companions or enemies will come back? Such as Rose, Donna, or the Slitheen, or even the Smilers? In terms of companions, I would love it if Captain Jack came back, and there has been rumours that he will return, and in a way, I hope that's true, because that's just so exciting. And I think he'll play off Jodie Whittaker's Doctor very well. But besides him, I do think Series 11 should start afresh. Uh, yeah, because otherwise you might alienate new fans. We'll see. But no, I love Captain Jack. He's very charismatic. So I'd love to see him again. And it's been years since he's been in Doctor Who. He was last seen on New Year's Day 2010, so 8 years ago now. And he's such a popular character. Okay. Slimmy, I know what you mean. It went from the Tennant era craze at primary school, and all of a sudden, Doctor Who wasn't popular at secondary school until around year 11 when the Matt Smith era became hipster. Yeah, yeah, you're spot on. And I think if we're the same age, I don't know, but from my experience at least, I think in year 11 it was 2013, and that was when Doctor Who had its 50th anniversary. And so obviously there was a big hype around the show then, and it was event TV again, and all my friends were talking about it. BBC was talking about it. Just everyone was talking about it, the news, etc., etc. And it was just everywhere, and that was great. And rightly so, because it was the 50th anniversary. You have to make a big deal about it. But since then, I've never felt like other people have cared as much. I mean, with Deep Breath, Peter Capaldi's first episode, I felt like there was hype around that because that got a cinema release, and I went to the cinema to see that. And that's the only episode I've seen in the cinema, actually, because the 50th anniversary I saw at a friend's house, and that I loved. I think it was a great episode, and I just loved being around all these other Doctor Who fans and seeing the episode live, because I think that was the idea. You would see it at the same time as the TV transmission, which sounds weird, like paying to see it when you can see it for free on TV. But big screen, how can you resist? Jake likes the second and 12th Doctors best. Yep, I can see that. The second Doctor is really good. I did enjoy him in The Mind Robber, and I've seen him in The Three Doctors as well, and he's very fun in that, very enjoyable. And the 12th Doctor I really like. I prefer him in Series 8, to be honest, and Series 10. Series 9, I feel like he's a bit too much like Matt Smith, and I don't like his costumes, but that's just me. But yeah, no, Peter Capaldi always puts in 100% with the performance. Katie, my one claim to Doctor Who celebrity fame is John Barrowman nearly walking into me at a convention. No way. I also got shouted at by a Dalek, which I blinded with a camera flash. Good times. Wow, that sounds eventful. So John Barrowman nearly walked into you. That's so weird. Nice. Should have like grabbed onto him and gave him a hug or whatever, or stopped him leaving. No, don't do that. Because then we won't have celebrities ever go to conventions again. Slimmy007 is the same age as me. Nice, 21. Welcome to the club. Yeah, don't know why I said that, but no, it's nice that you're the same age as me. We can relate to each other, hopefully. Started college in 2013. Yep, same with me in sixth form. I feel like younger generations don't care as much, which makes me feel so old saying. Doctor Who needs to find the balance between scaring plus fun for kids and keeping adults entertained again. Yeah, I agree with that. Younger kids don't care as much. Yeah, and especially with the rise of things like Netflix, you've got so many means of watching TV now, that I think, everyone's impatient. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I would hate having to wait a week between Doctor Who episodes, and maybe that puts people off. And also, I think the marketing hasn't been very good recently. I feel like the trailers for episodes have got shorter. Like, when you're watching a random programme, well, this is in my experience at least, being from the UK. I don't know about anyone who's in different countries. But when you're watching BBC One in the UK and you're not even watching Doctor Who, you would often get trailers for episodes between them. And I feel like in the David Tennant era, there would be like 30 seconds long and they would be really well made with good music, really dramatic. Whereas now it's like 10 seconds and it's just random clips cobbled together that don't really work. And it doesn't, I feel like it's not really enticing people to tune in on the Saturday to watch. K-Tire, did you ever figure out what bad wolf means? Um, Not really. Um, like, I mean, I do need to think about it properly, but at this moment in time, it's the message that the bad wolf version of Rose sent back in time through all her adventures as a link to where, as a link to the Bad Wolf Corporation, where obviously the Daleks were attacking. Um, I don't really know what its point was, why that had to be done. No, unless I think it was done to tell Rose to open the TARDIS, though I don't know how that gave her the idea. Um, but no, yeah, I've never really understood the Bad Wolf series arc, to be honest. I've liked it. I've liked that there's been two words scattered throughout series one. Um, but yeah, no, it doesn't make sense to me, to be honest. Maybe it makes sense to other people. Right, oh my god, it nearly has been an hour. Right, I will wrap this up very soon. Slimmy. They tried with Class, I suppose, which I never watched, but I remember watching the next time bit 3 or 4 times between weeks and getting excited. Now I'm a bit confused with what you're saying. Do you mean they had trailers for Class or Doctor Who? They tried. Yeah, I don't know, I'm afraid, what you're saying there. But give Class a go because I do think it's a lot better than what people give it credit for. Random Anime Fan 1412. What did you think of Doctor Who Confidential? Should they bring it back? Now, this is a very easy question. I love it to pieces. So much so that I can't let it die, and I've actually found every single episode, I think, and downloaded it. Some of them are really bad quality, but at least I've got a record of them. And I definitely think they should bring it back because it was really inspiring for people that want to get into the film and TV industry. Uh, and like even for people like me who don't necessarily want to get into that industry, I loved finding out how things were filmed, how stunts were performed, background into how stories were developed. Um, and yeah, I loved how they were between 30 and 45 minutes as well. Like a lot was covered in that time. What I loved about the Matt Smith ones, because if you remember, Series 5 and Series 6 had Doctor Who Confidential. I loved seeing the chemistry between Matt Smith, Karen Gillan, and Arthur Darvill. I thought they got on really well, especially in Series 6. I always loved seeing the random bits of them together. Um, yeah, it's just you get to see what they're like off camera, and I love that aspect as well. Um, and I definitely think they should bring it back. Whether or not they do is a different matter. I hope they do, but yeah, I haven't liked the behind the scenes things we've had in recent years. Um, I don't even think we had anything for Series 10 besides the fan show interviews. They were good, but I didn't feel like I'd learnt much from them. Because there would only be one guest, I think, on each episode, and then there would be faffing about with rating hair, which was funny for the first few episodes, but then I got bored of that, to be honest. No, it was a good idea, but it didn't work for me. And then, yeah, in like previous years, I think the worst years, I say years because I think they did this for multiple series. There was a time where there was only like 3 minute behind the scenes clips for each episode, and you can't cover anything in 3 minutes. It was ridiculous. Yeah. Slimmy, I think BBC may have done Doctor Who a disservice and pulled back on its marketing to kids. Doctor Who isn't massive as it was. completely agree. Jake Wakeling, I loved Class. I agree. Yeah, really good. Slimmy007 was on about the previews for Doctor Who episodes. Oh, okay. And so I think you said you watched them 3 or 4 times. Yeah, like I love going back over trailers. I just find them fascinating, like how people decide the clips and the music to entice people to watch episodes. And I have noticed like a lot of David Tennant trailers are just so good, so good. And then you look at Peter Capaldi's trailers, and a lot of them are really naff. So more effort needs to be put into the marketing, I think. Nathan Marlowe is going. He says, thanks for the live stream. Always interesting to hear your views. Good night. Thank you very much. That's really kind of you. Farewell. Hopefully you enjoy my future videos. Right, I'm going to start to wrap up, I think. Face and Bow. I had 2 friends join my wife and I at the 50th anniversary special in theatre here in the US. It was their first date and they've been happily married for some time now. Both still big fans. That is really cute. Wow, 2 friends. And it was yeah, what can I say? That's just really sweet. I'd love to date a Doctor Who fan. I think that'd be really nice. But I've yet to find them, sadly. Doctor Who clips, hi. Oh, that's a shame you've just joined now because I am wrapping up, I'm afraid. Slimmy007, get to bed, mate. It's late. Good chatting. Yeah, it's true. What time is it? 11:30. But also, I've got nothing to get up for, really. Like, I haven't got lectures anymore, so I can do what I want. You go to bed. But no, thank you for contributing to this live video. I don't know how I managed to waffle on for an hour. I mean, it definitely helps that you guys talk to me. So, as ever, thank you so much for that. Yeah, no, as ever, it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, if you weren't here at the start of the video, I basically said that I'm back on YouTube now, as you can tell from this video, and I'm hoping to do a video per week. We'll see how quickly I give up on that. Hopefully not for a while. But yes, so take care everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!